Greetings Africa, greetings Zimbabwe. My name is Nyazungu, aka the Chartered Vendor. Welcome to the Chartered Vendor podcast where we talk about everything entrepreneurship. And today I'm not on my smartboard. I'm here, I'm seated in my studio. And we're going to talk about an interesting topic which is actually happening here in the country of Zimbabwe, where we've noticed a lot of businesses are closing down. I think we've noted quite a number of businesses which are closing, and you notice that some are actually downsizing. I think we had one of our biggest retailer which actually closed about 5 branches, and we've got some of I noticed that one of the big wholesaler as well, I'll mention names on this podcast. You look at Mohammed Musa, it's actually downsized its operations, and to look at N. Richards, it's also done the same, and Choppies has actually exited Zimbabwe. And Spar Zimbabwe as well has been affected. And what does it mean for the country? What does it mean for our economy? What is really causing all these problems? That is what we want to see and how we want to shape our mindset going forward. Because if you're running a company also in this country, and also if you're, most people, they think that when companies are closing, only people who are running companies are going to be affected. I'll talk about, besides the corporate world, you also look at the NGO sector. They've been hit by what Donald Trump has actually done to the African economy when he's actually removed his money from Africa. And I've noticed many presidents complaining, and some of them, they were even saying Donald Trump is threatening us. And I don't believe that is threatening people. I just believe that is removing what belongs to him. And if we're Africans, I think I've said it a number of times whereby we've said Africa must wake up. It's not the time to get we want to get free money from Europe, from America. This time we've got our own resources. We've got people who are educated in Africa. So why is stopping us from actually financing ourselves? Because we can be self-sustainable. So to me, I think this is actually a wake-up call for the African leaders. I think those who have actually watched on YouTube, I think you noticed what Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president of Kenya, has actually said. He said, it's a wake-up call for Africa. Don't complain. We shouldn't be complaining, but we should see this in a positive way to actually say, how are we going to feed our people? How are we going to give our people ARVs? How are we going to sustain all these programs which were happening in our countries, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Togo, Zambia, and all these countries. But anyway, what I want to say is, what he has done has also affected some employees. I think we've noticed an influx of people who are applying for jobs. Since you also run a recruiting firm under M&J, what I noticed that we are now getting thousands and thousands of CVs per day. I think they've increased from probably less than 1,000 to almost 2,000 CVs a day. What does it mean? And what is causing all this? I'll look at what is happening to the retail sector, number one. What I think is happening is, number one, if you notice, when you're using Zim dollars, retail sector was thriving. What I noticed when we're using Zimbabwean dollar, when I'm saying Zimbabwean dollar, the RTGS one, you notice that there was a lot of inflation, so people would get money, most of their money in Zimbabwean dollars. So what was happening was, this currency was volatile into inflation. And what would happen is, if you receive, let's say, 100,000 RTGs, you'll be forced to spend it as quick as possible. But currently, most of the people are now receiving US dollars. Hence, most of the people are actually storing US dollars. It depends with the magnitude or the amount of the US dollars which you're actually storing. But if you're storing $500, you're still storing money. Because imagine if you're receiving your money in Zimbabwean dollars, if it was during inflation, you'll be forced to spend. You'll be forced to get into a supermarket, buy whatever you can buy quickly, and supermarkets were actually sustainable during that time. If you notice, most of the people who were suffering were actually manufacturers. And during the Zim dollar, so someone is keeping $500, someone is keeping $1,000, someone is keeping $10,000, but probably there's someone who's actually even keeping $1 million. What does it mean to our economy? What does it mean to our people? What does it mean to these retailers? If you notice right now, prices in most of the retail shops is very, very expensive because they're actually charging us in ZIG. And if you notice, the ZIG right now, it's not the value, it's not losing value. But if you notice, the rates which are being used in supermarkets are not attractive to people spending their US dollars. I still remember just last week I went into a shop just buying small things for my kids. And boom, when I was on the till, 80 bags for only probably a paper bag and a half. So this is what is actually, so will I actually go back again to this big supermarket? No. And what has also happened in this economy is there are also options. You look at it, tax shops have come. We've got a lot of people who are actually bringing goods, and also even manufacturers themselves. They're even looking for these illegal vendors. I'm a vendor myself, so I support vendors, by the way. But anyway, they're actually bringing goods to the vendors. And if you also notice, there are a lot of players who are in this that retail sector. The tax shops are also in play. And some of them, these guys are not even paying taxes, hence their prices are small. And also these people, they know reality. So hence they are pricing in actual US dollar. Because right now, if you get into one of the supermarkets, cooking oil is $4. $4, cooking oil 2 liters. But if you probably go to my tax shop, it's going to be $3. That same bottle, same label. So this is what is destroying our retailers. And I don't know if it's going to be sustainable, but I see most of the people losing jobs, and it's going to also affect what is happening in the economy. So if someone was going to ask me today, are we better off using US dollar or we are better off using local currency, I would actually choose the later. Because I think that when we're using our local currency, it's going to be very easy for this business to be sustainable. At least this money, we can control it. I strongly feel like US dollar is actually bigger than these economies which you want to run. If you notice right now, and if you notice most of the times in Zimbabwe, US dollar price is actually overpriced. Because why am I saying local currency is the best? You look at what happened in Zambia, where there's kwacha. And at one point, kwacha was having a lot of zeros. And they decided to cut their zeros, but they never removed the kwacha in their system. Hence, even right now, people are quick to spend when it's a local currency. Money can circulate better. But right now, because the US dollar, it's a currency which is actually used to reserve value. Hence, most of the people have got money under their pillows. Money is not circulating. And hence, that can actually have potential to cripple the economy. So, if I'm going to be choosing money to save this economy, to save a lot of jobs, to save a lot of people who are going to be going out of jobs, because this is just the starting point. And I also perceive that if the ZIG is going to continue strengthening, most of the people are going to be out of their jobs. Because why? Money won't be circulating. It's going to be very difficult to pay even government contractors. It's going to be even very difficult to pay contractors themselves. So our future is going to be very difficult. Hence, if an entrepreneur, how are you supposed to react to this situation? You are a manufacturer, you're also a retailer, probably you're a consultant, you're running a company. How are you supposed to react to this situation? Things are going to be tough. So I want to say to entrepreneurs, I want to say also to employees, if you're working for 8 hours, it's time to adjust. We need to be working even much harder, because it's going to be very difficult for us to survive in this kind of environment. I know very well that probably the government is trying its best to normalize things, but it's never going to be easy. Because why? We are actually fighting a big monster. And this monster, if you look at it, the current monster has destroyed a number of companies. Not only to mention other companies which are also filing for judicial management. And we've also noticed CBZ retrenching about more than 300 workers. We've also noticed Lafarge actually also filing for judicial management. So if you notice, big players are actually struggling. So imagine if you're a small player, what is going to happen to your business in the next year, in the next 2 years? These are just the big players and the well-known companies which are actually retrenching or going out of business. So what is going to happen to your business? Our fate is unknown. So I want us to prepare, especially the mindset. If you're an employee, if you're an employer, it's time to focus and time to push so that we can actually grow our companies. It's never going to be easy, guys, but we need to change our mindset and develop the mindset of saying, if it's not us, there's no one who's actually coming to save us. We're only going to be us alone fighting this monster, and things are going to be difficult before they actually get better. But it's only you and me who are going to build a better economy. We don't have to cry about politics. We don't have to cry about what is happening out there, but we just need to change the mindset and continue focusing so that we can build the country which you want and the continent which you want. There are going to be a lot of changes. Imagine the guy was working for an NGO. Today he had a job. Tomorrow he doesn't have a job. And during the holiday, I was actually spending money with his family thinking that he's going to get a salary. Boom, Trump comes in. There's no job. You look at what is happening in the economy. Zig comes in, you lose a job. So I don't know what is going to happen, but I just want to strengthen you and to say we need to change our mindset. We need to focus more. We need to develop that mindset. If we're working for 8 hours, sometimes it's time to increase them to 12 hours. Most of the people, they are against working for a long time, and we need to strategize every day. We were actually probably strategizing yearly, but right now probably it's time to strategize each and every week. What does in the work needs to be changed? Sometimes if you've got a huge layers of employees in your company, probably it's time to also adjust and lay off some in order for you to survive. So we are now in the survival mode, and I hope most of the companies are going to get out of this phase alive. But we need to do that by changing mindset. Employers are supposed to change mindset. Employees are also supposed to change mindset. Because if we don't change the mindset, end of the day, the company is going to close and you're also going to be losing your job. So I want to tell you today, guys, let us go out and work for our country. Remember, we need more entrepreneurs to create jobs so that most of our kids who are in the universities, they are coming in their numbers as accountants, some people as tax consultants, as sales people. They are looking for jobs, and it's up to us. We need to be creating these jobs. You know, we are in a fix. I looked at details. I also saw an article which was actually saying there are over 500 Zimbabweans who are actually on the deportation list in America. So there's nowhere to run. If you go to America, you're going to be deported back into Zimbabwe. There are no jobs. The cake is shrinking. Right now, the world is also shrinking. As they are saying also in America, the MAGA, Make America Great Again. I think it's another version of anyway, it's not political, but they're just saying they now want Americans to enjoy the cake better. And it's not bad for us, because probably it's the time to reflect and look ourselves in the mirror and say, what should we do as Africans? How should we actually increase our own cake? How should we build our own countries? How should we build our own economies? So, as you are probably someone that ran away, they lost a job, ran into America. America is chasing them back into Zim. You never know what's going to happen in UK. You never know what is going to happen in Australia. So what I want, guys, is to say, we are the masters of our destiny. We need to continue fighting. So, guys, keep on fighting. It's our economy. We need to build our own economy. Even if you're working for that company, just know that you can be an entrepreneur. You can change the destiny of that company which you are working for. So let us have the mindset of entrepreneurs, be it the employer, be it the employee. We need to meet halfway and work for our own economy and work for our own continents. And I hope the companies which have gone out of business and which have actually downsized, they are going to bounce back as soon as possible, because we need them in the economy. Those which have actually filed for judicial management, I hope things are going to be turned around, because that's the only way we can grow economy. We cannot be growing economy whilst the jobs are actually shrinking. So I think that we can be better as Africans. So thank you. This is what I had for you this week. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for supporting us. I can see your comments. You guys are helping us a lot. And I hope that you're going to continue supporting this podcast for 1%, for people who are enlightened, people who want to be entrepreneurs. Until next time, it's Jerry Nyazungu. Remember to destroy that subscription button and also that bell, which can actually inform you when you're live, when you're premiering. Thank you so much. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now.